everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Over the Cup podcast, a Formula One podcast for fans old and new by Formula One fans old and new. Joining me today, somebody special, along with somebody who has been here for every single episode, Honey Badger, and presenting you for the first time in the flesh. I wouldn't say flesh, in the voice. Kramer!
Yeah, hello
Woo!
guys. Hello.
Welcome, welcome,
Finally, I
welcome.
am here. Yeah,
Grand entry into the podcast.
Yes, what an entry to the podcast. We needed
But we,
Kramer specially for this because I don't think we can make a second boring race podcast funny all on our own.
Wow.
Did it in Ebola. Tried our best. And it wasn't that bad. I really think that it was good. We did a good job. But Miami, what?
Miami was okay
It was disappointing. I don't know why the track showed much more potential during practice.
because it has potential, but somehow in the race, there is some work to do on the track. We need some tweaks here and there. It has the
Dude,
potential to become a
especially
good track.
those two straights. Especially those two straights has to be done something.
Yeah, in those straights also, we need the DRS just after the corner, not into the middle of the straight. The DRS start zone, the DRS start line is way ahead from the corner.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of sector
Middle,
3.
exactly, yeah.
Okay, but before we get to the race, something that unfolded after the practice sessions were the crazy crashes that who had the crazy crashes? Esteban Ocon
Esteban
and
Ocon.
Carlos
Carlos.
Sainz.
Carlos was in FP2.
Yes, Esteban Ocon was in FP3. Esteban Ocon's FP3 crash has an impact of 51G. If you remember, is the same impact that Max Verstappen had in Silverstone last year, 51G.
Yes.
And Carlos
it?
Sainz's
Was
yes,
it 51G?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
I thought
that
it was
was
more.
no 51G. 51G is plenty more.
Yeah, I know that, but still, I
No,
thought it
no,
was
no.
like 67 or something.
No. It was 51. 51, one of the highest crashes, which was
Yeah.
the entire debate, during Silverstone, saying that Lewis should have been disqualified, blah blah blah. So two huge impacts in that one corner. Drivers called for FIA to change the barriers from concrete to Tech Pro. And what does the FIA do?
Check the jewelry and underwear.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were busy investigating the underwears and the jewelry. No, they're like, yeah,
Because that's what the new safety measure is.
dude,
Yes.
wearing watch is like more dangerous than crashing into concrete walls. Okay.
Yeah, the
No.
loss is huge because their watches are expensive. I don't know. So Lando Norris said that as drivers, we often know better than the experts where the risks lie. You should listen to us every now and then. We gave our recommendation after Carlos's accident and the FIA didn't react. It's not okay.
See, when a driver comes out and gives out statements like this publicly, then there is something serious wrong in the administration or with
Exactly.
the FIA.
Exactly.
You can't overlook these things.
I think Ocon also said that in the post-race interviews, and even Carlos said that after his crash in FP2, he had been experiencing neck pain because his impact was also very severe. So
I mean, concrete, dude, what do you expect?
exactly, like it's first of all, it doesn't make sense. Why would you have concrete barriers? Like it's not. What makes you think that concrete can absorb impact? What makes you think?
Yep.
I don't know why concrete barriers are on the track in the first place.
Man, because they were busy building the fake marinas, they didn't concentrate on the walls.
See, this is so, and the FIA is like, oh, we are concerned about safety. That's why we are doing this jewelry thing and underwear. There are literally drivers shouting at you to change a barrier, and you are like, no, jewelry and underwear is more important. I don't understand. Like things that the drivers are wearing and things inside the cockpit itself are far less threatening to the drivers than running into a concrete wall at 200 miles an hour. FIA just proving, it's how bad it is. I have seriously tried to understand, do I want Michael Massey back? Like this somehow seems even worse. I don't know why.
I mean, Masi did mistakes, but definitely he didn't compromise on safety of the drivers.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing in compromised was on making sure that we got a legitimate champion. But is it too serious when you think that the new directors are compromising on safety rather than, Anyways.
I mean, it's so ironic, right? Car stopping on the track, I mean, in the middle of the track, or for the matter of fact, in the runoff area without any crash, and they're giving out red flag,
Red flags, yeah.
and car hitting a concrete wall with 51G impact, and they are not bothering to change the material of the walls. Seems so ironic and so illogical and doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you won't, like, if this was the plot of a movie, I would say this is not real. I would be like, you went over the top. This cannot happen. Like, there is no way in hell this will happen in real life. But guess what, it's happening in real life.
Probably you would believe it in a movie because it's all imagination. Maybe you could give it a chance.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, we are people who are like big Marvel fans and everything. We literally live in the world of fiction and fantasy, and I would still find it a little hard to believe. But I'm like, okay, you wanted to add spice to the movie. I would still be like,
Huh.
okay, sure, but like, it's like suspension of disbelief, right? You are going to accept that, okay, this has to happen to add spice to the movie, to make the plot more entertaining and dramatic. But this is just, oh my god, I don't
I'm
know.
I am afraid what kind of decisions we are going to see in the future.
Especially now that the championship fight is going to get closer. Like,
Exactly.
any lasting advantage that Charles had is kind of over now.
Yeah,
It's not that far off between
exactly.
Max and Charles.
Yeah, it's just 29 points. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
One DNF is all it takes to level the game, or not even a DNF, like something that happened in Imola. Like, Charles did finish in points, but they were not the top points, and Max had the maximum points that he could take. There are
That
things that can happen.
that Imola over the curb incident will come to haunt Charles in the future for sure.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure the Baku incident came to haunt Lewis last year.
Hmm.
That would have been a sure shot, at least 25-18, some points.
Lead, exactly. Yeah.
He ended up having none, but I'm sure it haunts him as well. But
Yeah.
so, but my bigger concern is that, at least I have this theory, you guys know this theory, that the FIA is consistently not giving anything against the top four drivers.
Yep. And you have another point to prove this theory this weekend, I guess.
Yes, Carlos Sainz allegedly impeding Alonso in qualifying in Q2. The FIA verdict: no further investigation necessary. Alonso, who apparently lost somewhere around 3/10 or 4/10 in that final sector, and there was no action that was necessary. If you remember, in Saudi Arabia, when Daniel Ricciardo impeded Ocon did not. There was no loss. Ocon still had plenty of time to fix, to set another fastest time, and I don't think Ocon's time was impacted at all, because I remember reading in the investigation report that they released, when they gave Daniel Ricciardo a 3-place grid drop and 1 penalty point on his super license. They said that the fact that Ocon was able to set a lap time was is something that we had not considered. Whether or not he was or wasn't able to, that's out of the question. The fact is that Daniel Ricciardo impeded Ocon, and hence we are giving this penalty. Alonso was on his last lap, the final lap. The timer was done, I think, or maybe some last couple of seconds left. He wouldn't have crossed the line to start another lap. Okay, this was the last chance for him. He ended up qualifying P11. He essentially got out of qualifying into Q3 because he lost 3/10 or 4/10. He was allegedly impeded by Carlos Sainz, because I've not seen that footage anywhere, and I hope and pray to God, F1 TV, please come to India. I will pay money, but I need to see everything because Sky does not show us anything. They'll cut to fans anytime there is something important going on the racetrack. The Sky broadcasters make sure that we see fan reaction instead of what is actually happening on the track. But
But I
this is what
think in
happened.
Miami they were searching for like celebrities among the crowd.
We don't care. We don't care. Let them do like a
Exactly.
thing where they
Like a
take photos
poster
and
celebrity
everything. Yeah.
interviews.
Yeah, do that. Don't do it in the middle of the race.
Sky doing Sky things and FI doing FI things. You know what? Okay. Tell me if this might be correct or not. Too many chefs spoiling the dish. Do you think that having two race directors are causing the inconsistencies in decisions?
I would not even call it inconsistencies. I will call it incompetence. This
Yeah,
is
they're
not
like consistently
inconsistency.
bad, man.
Yeah, it's not, and it's not even incompetence. There is legit. I find it very hard to believe that we are 5 races in and there has been no action taken against the top 4 drivers in the number of times that they have been investigated.
Hmm.
It's statistically, it does not this is approaching, like if this happens throughout the season, we have technically seen an event with 100% probability where the event being one of the top 4 drivers is going to have an incident or have something noted that they did wrong, and the outcome will always be no further investigation necessary, which is not
Racing
possible
incident.
mathematically. There is no event that exists with 100% probability. It's the
Hmm.
law of nature, but we are seeing the FIA bending the law of nature. It's just the FIA is turning a blind eye towards the top 4 drivers because they don't want to cause any trouble. And you know, it's just the 5th race, and we see it every single race. There is something or the other where it's just FIA incompetence at play.
Hmm. Agreed.
Their stories do not add up. If they had promptly reacted to what the drivers said and changed those barriers, I would have still changed my mind about this entire thing that they have going on about jewelry and underwear. I wouldn't have been like 100% on board with their insistence on not having jewelry and everything, but I would have understood that no, okay, they have consistently shown with their actions that they are actually really concerned about driver safety, but they are not at all. It's a classic government thing, no, talk about stupid things that don't really impact anybody so that people don't ask the real questions.
Hmm. See, the only thing we can do is rant.
Oh my god. Okay, qualifying.
Qualifying,
Anyway,
Bottas,
Bottas in P5. Yeah.
Bottas the hero of qualifying.
Yeah. But Bottas is becoming Mr. Saturday now. Like he qualifies well, but
In the
race.
race, he
Yeah,
fucks
like
up. Yes,
he is the new Russell.
he is the new Russell, and he would not want to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, technically, I've again become the Mercedes second driver. I would not call Russell the second driver though.
No,
Right now,
he is clearly not.
Lewis is the like second driver right now.
I mean, at least in the eyes of F1 fan community, Russell is not the second driver
yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
I think even in the race, Lewis said that he would let Russell pass, right? After the safety
No,
car restart. No?
I'm not sure. No, no, no. So he was concerned about
Losing the
him
track position.
finishing, losing track position to Russell, and that's why he didn't pit.
Yeah,
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah,
yeah. And
we'll get to
Russell
that.
took
We'll get to
over
that.
him
We'll
after.
get to that.
Yeah, but Bottas is doing wonders in that Alfa Romeo, but in qualifying, not in the race.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Agreed. Anything to add on qualifying?
No, it was I'm glad that it was a pretty clean quali. There were no red flags,
Hmm.
but I mean, it was just an average weekend. I would not be as thrilled about Miami next time. And I hope and pray to God that these FIA people will probably listen to what the drivers said about that particular turn and make the changes that are necessary for actual driver safety.
Yep.
Okay, let's come to the race. But before we get to the race, we have to talk about this Martin Brundle track walk.
Pre-race thing. That's the
The
funniest.
only good thing that happened in the weekend was
Oh
Martin
my.
Brundle's track walk.
Oh my god. like Martin Brundle running into a completely unknown guy and asking him what his name is and what does he do, and the guy, funnily replies that I'm a social media celebrity.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I saw that. He's like, I'm social media influence.
Also, but
And
some of these American celebrities were so rude. Like he's talking to them, and he's not responding. Nobody is responding. Even Venus Williams and everybody, they're just they okay. I can understand if they've not seen him talking to him, but Venus
hmm,
Williams saw, and then Martin Brundle is still talking. She's waving to somebody else. I'm like, bro, you live in America. You can see these people anytime. You can see them. Just do the interview. It's gonna then take like what 15-20 seconds, and then go say hi to whoever it is. Somebody is talking to you.
yeah.
What good etiquette.
I think David Beckham and Farrell are the only ones who responded very well,
Yeah.
Dude,
and
David
DJ
Beckham is
Khalid.
a British and he knows who Martin Brundle is.
Yeah, Sky. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
Yeah, and he's like he's present in most of the races. Like he will be there with McLaren team.
Yeah.
He was there at Silverstone last year. He is there now. It was Beckham and Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom Brady was there. Michael Jordan was there.
Michael Jordan was Mercedes, right? Was with
Mercedes.
He
Yeah.
Mercedes.
was there with Mercedes.
Beckham was with McLaren.
Yeah, he will always be there with McLaren now.
Yeah, and
Hands
Fa-
down, my favorite
Farrell.
celebrity. My favorite celebrity, Michelle Obama and Mercedes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes,
She
Michelle
was
Obama.
she was way away from the attention.
Yeah,
That's what classy people do.
exactly. I'm like,
People who are really interested in the sport do actually sit in the garage and not on the
yeah, but I
on
mean,
the
like,
starting grid.
and I really wanted to see Trevor Noah, man. I don't know why Trevor wasn't there. I would have wanted to see him, but we got James Corden. And the only
Hmm.
good thing he did was the crop top thing. Otherwise, not interested. Okay, let's come to race now. Anything else about the legendary track walk?
Nope, nothing else. I was expecting Neymar, but he wasn't there.
Okay, who were you expecting? Who wasn't there? Let's do that.
And okay, I was expecting Steph Curry.
Ooh, yeah, I would have loved to see Steph Curry. I was
Hmm.
expecting Trevor Noah. I've
I was
already said.
expecting Neymar, but yeah, as I said, he wasn't there.
Yeah. Who else do we know could have been there? I don't know, man. I only want people who actually understand. And that's why I was very happy that Michelle Obama was there. And she was like, she
Hmm.
was looking at the screen so intently. I was almost jealous of her because I'm like, what would I not give to be in that exact same position, just looking at what she's looking at? Anyways.
One day
Dude, I
after
would have loved to see like Kevin Hart doing a piece on F1 where he doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart explaining
I,
F1.
I was disappointed that there was no Chris Rock or Will Smith.
I was the most disappointed person to not
Dude,
see them.
whenever they cut to like Mercedes podium, I was like, okay, can I get a shot of Will Smith?
Also, who waved the checkered flag? I don't even know.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't even see the podium celebration. Also, I was so gutted after the race.
Oh, good for you, man.
I mean, it's good. It was just way over the top.
I
Was
know
like,
it was. I know some people are saying it was cringe, but I saw the pictures and all. But anyway, I didn't want to see after. I was disappointed with Ferrari this weekend, so I was dozed off
pretty
as
bad
soon as the race
strategy
was over.
calls. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So now, without any further ado, let's get into the race. And before the race started, we had news that both Aston Martin cars will be starting from pit lane because their fuel was too cold.
In the heat of Miami, the fuel was too cold.
Yeah. So I have discovered this very amazing Twitch streamer who worked as a performance engineer first for Force India and then for Red Bull. So he said that the regulation is that 2 hours before the race, the FIA is going to release the temperature of the fuel that they can have in the fuel cells. And the teams have to make sure that it is not more than 10 degrees cooler than that temperature.
Oh, okay.
So that was so what Aston Martin were, for whatever reason their fuel was not the right temperature. Had they started the race like on the grid from where they were supposed to start, they could have either I think they would have been disqualified or something like that. So that's
Okay.
why they were like, we will make sure that the fuel reaches the right temperature and then start from the pit lane. So
Okay.
which is really sad because Stroll had a pretty good qualifying.
Hmm.
So yeah,
And these
it's
Aston Martins have always have problem with the fuel.
do they?
Yeah, yeah, like Vettel's race was like disqualified, no podium because he
His
didn't
podium
have
was
like enough
disqualified.
time.
Disqualified. Yeah.
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 I mean, you know what the thing is that sure, but I mean, Vettel had also that weekend made very bold statements regarding Hungary, and he was instructed by the FIA to remove the T-shirt that he was wearing, which was about LGBTQ rights.
Oh, he was wearing that pink T-shirt.
The
Hmm.
rainbow T-shirt, I
Rainbow
think it was.
T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that it's not even because what FIA is doing, it's not even about, if the proper regulations are being followed. It's sometimes scratch that. Most of the times, I think that FIA just gives out these things just out of spite, which is what I think this the entire thing with jewelry is also going on, because they are like Lewis Hamilton has been the quote unquote victim in the eyes of the F1 fans for a very long time. So now they are doing this thing where Lewis has been very adamant. He's said already that he's not going to get rid of his jewelry. So
Dude, FIA just should shut their mouths and hear to what Hamilton and Vettel say to make the sport better.
yeah, I really hope that when they do retire, they actually go into a consultant or a
Advisor for
advisor
F1,
for FIA. Yeah,
F1 CEO or FIA.
yeah, that it is something that they desperately need. But you know what? Not unless and until I see anything from the FIA that proves that they are ready to change themselves. Because right now, I don't see it. At the start of
Hmm.
the season, with all the quote unquote the changes that the FIA said that they were introducing to make sure that the governance of the race is proper, I was actually very excited. I was excited about the two race directors. I was excited about the virtual race control room and blah blah. There were like so many things, right? But they've
Hmm.
just every single weekend they are hitting a new low.
Yep.
It's
And
baffling.
I don't think like they both are coming into that position. Like we all know that Lewis Hamilton is like a fashion freak. He will get into something else after he's done. And Vettel will be chilling somewhere in Germany. It's like I am done. I will just go the. He will take the Kimi route.
I think if they don't go in an advisory role in FIA, I think they would still be involved with the drivers association in some way. They are, and actually, they the thing is that they're too good to lose. Like they
Mm.
have so
Exactly.
much value to add both on and off track. They are too good to lose for the sport, for the new generation of drivers coming. They can actually really benefit from having people like Vettel and Hamilton in a role like that.
Yep.
Maybe, I don't know. I just think that the only way Lewis can ever get to his eighth championship is when they again build a car that they had like in the turbo hybrid, which was already miles apart from everybody else.
Hmm.
That's the only way it can happen. They're
Yep.
just now outright going after Lewis Hamilton. So not even subtle anymore. Okay. So Aston Martin started from the pit lane. Cool. Lights out, away we go. Pretty clean first lap, I would say. I was expecting chaos.
Chaos. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I said, when yesterday or day before yesterday after qualifying, I said Sainz will have to defend for his life into the first turn.
Yeah.
There will be definitely a lunge from Max, and what an overtake from the outside of the track. I
Yeah.
mean, Sainz didn't expect that. He was also rusty in the start, I guess.
Yeah. You can say that.
He didn't get a good start and lost the track position to Max, and then it was all easy for Max with that 6 or 7 kilometer advantage which Red Bull has on the straights.
Yeah.
Yeah, turned out to be pretty boring, but Science could have tried something, but I don't know what's going on with Science and his car, man. Every race, it's a strong weekend this time around, but
But
not fully unlocking the potential.
have to see like what are we comparing it to? Like he only had a good weekend in Bahrain and
Bahrain,
Saudi. Saudi was also okayish.
yeah.
What I think is happening with Sainz is every weekend that he does not beat Charles, he's just putting way too much pressure on himself. Like I think the reason he was able to adapt more quickly to the Ferrari in the last year was because I think somewhere he knew that that Ferrari was not a championship winning car,
Hmm. And
and
he has his own sweet time to adjust to the car
adjust
and
to the
try
car.
out new things.
Yeah, yeah.
But as soon as the championship pressure came onto his head, he's making mistakes and taking too much pressure onto his head. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yep, could be.
Could
Seems
be
like the case.
because yeah, like even Renault, same thing. That was not a championship winning car.
Hmm.
McLaren at the time wasn't a championship winning car. And
Hmm.
the minute that Ferrari has reached the potential where it can actually really fight for the championship, he's literally becoming Bottas of 2021. He's just nowhere near Charles.
Yeah,
He's nowhere
no.
in the mix.
But as I said, Carlos has a very limited time at Ferrari, according to me.
Yeah, I mean,
So he's in a hurry to be in a championship contending position.
that's working backwards for him because he's putting too much
Hmm.
pressure on himself. He
Exactly.
has to
So,
realize that.
yep.
I want to see Carlos at Ferrari. I think he deserves to have that Ferrari seat, but God forbid if it comes down to in the constructor championship, if it comes down to what the second driver has achieved, and Perez beats Sainz and Red Bull wins the constructors,
Hmm.
why would Ferrari like? Sure, he's a strong racing driver, but
Hmm.
wouldn't they want somebody like I don't even know if there is a Ferrari driver ready because you know what Mick is not. I am going to change my stance and it's going to make Shakuni very happy. Mick is not ready at all. He's making really stupid mistakes.
I mean, that's what. No, Mickey is not ready at the moment, but people learn. Drivers learn. I mean, okay. Next year, if talk the same points, next year if he is in the same position at this point of time, we'll talk then.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah.
reflect back this to this podcast.
Yes. I'm saying that I'm not saying that Mick is not going to learn, but I'm saying that
Hmm.
if if they if Ferrari wants to replace Sainz, I don't think they will before 2024 because he's signed the contract now. But again, we don't know the terms and conditions of those contracts, and maybe the negotiations were delayed because of what the performance was. So maybe it's the curse of the new contract, man. We've seen it like time and again happen. Every single
Hmm.
time it happens.
Hmm.
So I don't know what it is, but if Ferrari were to consider Mick for 2023, right now they're not in a position to say that, you know what, it would be good to have Mick next year.
They won't. That's why they gave a contract to Science, right? They are
Yeah,
not
but
considering Mick. They want Mick to prosper properly, and Mick has
I
a lot of time.
yeah, I mean, I just hope Mick learns quickly. Like he's making stupid mistakes that I would not expect a rookie. He's not technically a rookie, man. He's been in the
Hmm.
sport for a year now, like more than a year now.
Yeah.
Sure, it's looking bad because I think people did not expect Kevin Magnussen to do this good, or maybe because we saw Mick was much better because he was against Mazepin in that Haas. So
Hmm.
Mazepin was the Latifi of Haas, like the 2022 Latifi. 2021 Latifi was still good. So
Yeah.
okay, next thing that happened in the race was Perez losing power. The race engineer saying you lost the toe. That's
That
why you
that was
lost 3 seconds. I mean, that's some
that.
faith to put in your second driver, man. What the fuck? You're saying that the guy lost 3 seconds because there was no toe? I mean, come on, it's Checo.
And Perez was okay. Can't you understand what I'm saying? I'm losing power. The guy has 7-8 years of F1 driving experience, and you are not listening to him saying that the car is okay, the power is okay, and he is giving live feedback from the car driving it, and you are not accepting that feedback. It sounded very funny to me.
I was in disbelief. I was like, okay, Red Bull is very clear who their first driver is. But I'm like, dude, you can't. That dude is driving a 300 km per hour car. And if he's saying he's losing power, he's going to notice. It's not like he's driving at 40 and you're like, but are you actually losing power? No, he's going to feel it. He knows. 3 seconds. 3 seconds is a long time. He don't know.
He lost 4 seconds actually in total.
Exactly. And when you like, even in qualifying and everything, when we see, one driver giving their teammate a toe, do you see an improvement of 3 seconds? What?
Nope.
What is Red Bull? What?
The moment they heard it from Perez, they are like, okay, this is going down the drains. Okay, let's focus. They were preparing to retire the car. I thought.
Yeah, same. Me too. But really, really poor response from the Red Bull race engineers. I mean,
yeah.
I understand that there was nothing in the data, but you can't just dismiss your driver like that. I don't think that they should be doing that. Okay. Next, after that, I think it was a pretty boring race for the next 30 odd laps, I would say.
Astons were on a charge.
Astons were on a charge.
And Crofty was old enough to confuse between Vettel and Stroll.
I mean, it's nothing new from Crofty.
I was too confused after listening to Crofty's commentary. Who was reading, who was at the back, I couldn't figure out.
Yeah, same.
Okay, one more thing. During this, don't they get any other race team managers like except Christian Horner?
Yeah.
I mean, Christian is open to talking while the racing is going on. I guess he's jobless.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so, because the only other team principal that I've heard them talking to is Otmar during Saudi when the two Alpines were racing against each other. That's the only time.
Yeah, Gunther also sometimes talks.
But like every single race, they are like, we'll ask Christian Horner. There was a shot of Christian Horner looking at the sky. And they're like, oh, let's get Christian Horner to talk about the race. I'm like, are you kidding me? Why?
I mean, the guy is jobless. What could you expect?
And it's like, we have built a fast cars. They have straight pace and this circuit suit the car. Just let me talk to commentators and Michael Masi. Man, I won't be surprised if he's like a FaceTiming his family while racing.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's infuriating. Okay, let's get to the slightly good part. Okay, before we get there, Zoe DNF problems with the engine. It was heartbreaking, man, because I think he was also impeded during the qualifying. He also came on the radio and he said that I was impeded and we should report it. But I don't think FIA took any actions in the classic FIA sense.
Yep.
So heartbreak for Alonso.
And after that, what happened? Alonso crashed into Gasly. Was it Gasly?
Yeah,
it was Alonso on Gasly.
Yeah, there was no space at all, and it was 100% Gasly's corner, and that 5-second penalty is very well deserved and worth it. I feel.
Okay, so I think Alonso ran Gasly off the track, and when Gasly was joining again, I think he was not able to steer his car and was not looking in his mirror and bumped into Lando.
Norris, yeah.
Gasly, yeah.
A bit unfortunate for Norris, but I mean, I don't think that McLaren were anywhere in that race. Like after that pit stop, they were just not able to do anything. And I want to talk about this. Like, does that hard tire not do anything for the cars? Because the hard tire stint was some of the most boring racing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm considering Monaco in this. Like, I was actually shocked to see that the cars opted for the hard tires because
it was supposed to be two pit strategy. Actually, we really predicted a 2-pit strategy, but the teams were like, nah.
Yeah, I thought it would either be medium soft medium, or medium
Hmm.
medium soft, or
Hmm.
soft medium soft, depending on
Yeah.
what tires you have.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anybody to, because even at the race start, we saw anybody who was on hard tires, they just fell into the back of the grid.
Hmm.
That hard tire, from like the 5 races that I've seen, I think it seems like a waste, because
I
that
mean,
does not seem like a tire that you can use in the race, because that car, then the car is nowhere.
F1 should bring back the 2018 classification, dude. The super softs, ultra softs, and hyper softs.
Oh
They were
yes.
the best. I mean, I don't remember any race in 2018 where they went for hards. The least they went for was mediums. Like
Yeah.
that how good races used to be. They used to start on super soft, and they used to take next softs, and maybe then they would have end up with mediums.
But like the reason I question this is because
Hmm.
you are given whatever number of sets of hearts. I think it is 3 sets of hearts.
Yeah.
I think so. So those 3 sets are no use, because I don't know, just the tire, like reaching the optimal tire temperature, or I don't know what the problem is. Okay, I don't have the
Hmm.
data. I don't know.
Hmm.
Even if I had the data, I don't know how to read that data. I haven't built that capability yet. But it doesn't seem like even in Saudi, when Lewis had the hard tires on, he was
Hmm.
nowhere. Like at least on the mediums and soft, he had a little bit of pace. But on the hards, it's just I was really surprised to see the entire grid go on hard tires. And after that, that race was a snooze fest,
Hmm. Yep.
considering how many opportunities were there to do. Like it's not a bad track for overtaking. I would not say that it's a bad track for overtaking, but I think we didn't see it because a big portion of the race was on hard tires. The cars were like, we are happy to even be racing, because those tires just don't work with these cars.
But actually, speaking, after the safety car incident, a lot of teams, I was expecting a lot of teams would go for softs.
I was expecting everybody on the grid to go for softs. It was just 17 laps left.
16, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
16,
yeah,
15 laps
exactly.
left. But the problem is the Miami heat. Those softs won't last much long. I mean, by
Already
11 or 12
cloudy.
laps,
It was already becoming cloudy. Like they were expecting it to rain at some point
they were
in the race.
expecting it to rain, but the track temperatures matter, right?
Yeah, the track temperatures matter, but like it had already become cloudy. So like that thing where the track temperature keeps increasing because the sun is shining continuously, that was like you would still, it would not, that track temperature would not increase. And there were a couple of teams that went on the softs and finished the race on soft. It
Hmm.
wasn't because Lando Norris, the crash happened in lap 39, and for the first couple of laps it was just the VSC. There was not a
Yeah,
full blown safety car,
yeah.
right? It was only after a couple of laps that the FIA realized, oh, you know what, a crash like this would have
Should have
ended
an.
up in debris, and we would need a safety car so that the marshals can safely go out on the track and remove all the debris.
Yep.
So I think by the time the safety car came out, we were on lap 41 or 42.
41, 41.
Right. So it was just 16 laps.
Hmm.
16 laps on a fresh set of softs. If any team had it, I don't think that would have been a problem.
And Mercedes were ready with their strategy, but Lewis
Oh
denied.
my god. Lewis Hamilton. Okay, Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton first. Lewis, stop being in this fear of losing track position. Your track position does not matter if you can't move up the track by using better tires.
It was a
What good is it?
perfect situation. It was a perfect situation for Hamilton to take softs and gain positions easily.
Easily, you and Russell could have easily tried to go for
Man,
Perez. I don't know if they
imagine
would have been successful or not, but they could have gone for it.
imagine the DRS traits with softs versus used fresh softs versus
Like used
used
hearts.
hards, like
But
20
yeah,
lap old hard tires. Imagine the pace advantage. That was
Yeah,
a perfect situation.
yeah.
yeah, and
That's the
also
same pace advantage that Max had in like Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, and also Mercedes team, you obviously have a lot of data. So if your driver is being unreasonable, tell him we have a lot more information than you, and if you come in, get a fresh set of sorts, you'd still have 15, 14 odd laps to go and make up for the track position. Like they literally ended up being best of the rest, and like the Bottas thing was him fucking up more than Lewis
Yeah,
Hamilton actually having an option to overtake him. But on that fresh set of softs, they could have at least gone. At least Russell made a good call. Russell was
yeah,
like, I'm gonna do my thing. If there is a safety car that happens, it happens. If not, okay, we took a chance. It did not work, but
yeah.
this was a good chance to get some more points.
But I
And
don't think so. Mercedes has saved Lewis a lot of times in terms of strategy, even though Lewis denied a lot of times. But I don't know how the conversation went this time. They somehow listened to Lewis.
yeah, and then Lewis Hamilton coming on the radio and saying strategy has not been kind to me. No, you acted like a petulant child. I don't want to lose track position. No, I'm sorry. I love you, Lewis Hamilton, but no, that was wrong. Even I knew without any data that you should have pitted. How can you not know after being in the sport for 3 decades?
Mercedes, the mechanics came out twice with the soft tires to change,
Yes,
expecting Hamilton to come in.
it's the it's the stupidest thing, and I don't understand the logic behind, and I don't understand why the team did not ask him to come regardless of what his stance was. And I don't understand why Lewis was so, I don't know, sometimes he acts as if he's not thinking straight.
Agreed. But talking about the safety car, Aston
Ferrari.
Martins were the only ones who have benefited massively from that safety car. I was expecting, okay, one safety car at correct pit window time, and Aston Martins are up above in the game,
Yeah,
and they had a very good time with the safety car regarding their pit stops, and they
yeah,
came out in like seventh, eighth, I guess,
yeah,
or eight, nine, maybe.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Hmm. They were
And
on
again,
the course to finish in
Ferrari.
again Ferrari doing Ferrari things, fucking up in the pit stop. Why? I mean, Charles, they needed a perfect pit stop, and Ferrari just threw it up 1 second in the pit stop itself.
Yeah, but also they should have gone in and pitted for soft. At least
They
Charles.
could have, yeah, they could have at least, yeah, there was a chance, but I understand why the strategists decided to not go for softs, because maybe the softs are not durable, and keeping the track temperatures in the mind, and especially these, if they are not finishing one and two, three positions is very important for Ferrari right now.
Yeah, I understand that, but
So
uh,
to ensure that they didn't want to take a risk, and they just wanted to finish it as high as possible. I understand that, but yeah, big, you have to take risks sometimes to.
and but also fresh mediums. Like I understand softs, but
Hmm.
fresh set of mediums.
No, I think Ferrari have used up all the fresh mediums available. I think so. I'm not sure. That's the only reason I am thinking why they didn't go for a pit stop.
Yeah,
And I think Max also didn't go for the same reason, because I think Max had one set of mediums left.
I guess.
Red Bull saved one set of mediums for the race, I guess, because Perez had a fresh mediums, and
And
I think Max also has, but they were waiting for Ferrari to react. But as Ferrari stayed out, so they let Max stay out.
maybe, but
Yeah,
I mean, all in all, it was the safety car restart was okay, interesting, but again, like Ferrari just did not have the straight line speed that Red Bull had, and after a couple of laps after the safety car restart, it was again back to boring racing, and nobody was doing anything
exactly. Even
except.
Charles was building a gap with between Sainz and him.
Yeah, man, Carlos Sainz. Either there's something wrong with that car, or there's something wrong with Carlos, because I don't see a reason why he's so far behind.
Last year he was on the level of Charles in the same machinery, but this year around, nope.
Nowhere. He's
Yeah,
nowhere.
lot of pit stop errors. I mean, lot of
Yes.
those errors were explained by the hot wheel guns and the temperature of because of temperatures of Miami. But
Hmm.
Alonso had a slow stop. Norris had a slow stop. Who
Yeah.
else? I think one of the Williams also had a slow stop. Not sure. Yep, too many
Hmm.
pit errors.
Yep.
But Red Bull, being Red Bull, 2.4 seconds. I think the fastest stop of the weekend,
Yeah, I think so.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Bull, as much as I hate them, their strategy game, their pit stop game is so on point.
Hmm.
Okay, and then let's talk about the senior drivers. What
Senior
happened?
drivers.
What happened,
Why?
man?
Why? Why?
What
Why
happened
Alonso?
to this?
Why Kevin? Why are you playing bumper cars in Miami? What's the need? I mean, Alonso could have patiently waited for that. He could have easily overtaken Gasly in the DRS straight.
Yeah, he could have.
He
Instead,
could have easily. And K-Mac being the douchebag, K-Mac.
yep, we might get another suck my ball moment in this
Did,
season as
did
well.
no? Did you see that Ocon and Magnussen incident? I think he pushed Stroll out of the track, and when Stroll was trying to come onto the track, he was still covering the edge of the track.
Okay, that's why he got the penalty, I think.
That's bullshit, dude. I was like, what are you doing, Kevin? No, we don't want that. We don't want that Kevin back.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Stroll, and somehow the guy finished in top 10. I'm happy for
Hmm.
him for at least
Yeah.
this weekend.
At least this weekend. Never thought we would see this, but hey,
Yep.
we appreciate when the effort has been good.
Yeah. Both the Astons were amazing this weekend, especially in the race. Qualifying, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say so, but in the race, yes. And if not for Mick, they would have finished 8 or 9.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Make
If not for both the Haas drivers, they would have finished in higher positions.
and what is Mick doing?
Dude, he screwed both of their race positions. I mean,
Yeah.
finish positions could have been a until that point. Mick was on a charge, and he was like
He was P9, I think.
he was P9, and he was driving the time of his life.
Yes, I agree. I was
You know,
so excited for him.
Crofty was repeatedly saying whenever there was a Mick Schumacher footage on the TV, Crofty was repeatedly saying that, "Oh, Mick, this man has been having a good day. Hope he finishes in the top 10 or whatever it is." He was constantly praising Mick, and just before was it 4 or 5 laps to go, and crashes into Vettel.
Yeah.
Horrible. At first, I thought sector one yellow flag, and I see Vettel's name dropping on the timing tower, and I think, oh no, not a spin again. And then I got to see the replay, and I hated Mick for that.
Yeah.
Ugh. I am very disappointed with the racing with this weekend. Not in terms of track, but in terms of drivers' racing style and what they did on the track.
Yeah.
All my favorites have driven very badly.
Mick, I was so happy for him. Like that happened in lap 52 or 53, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Four. I'm like, dude, you are doing good. Like, just be patient. There was no need to go into Vettel like that. Like,
I mean,
don't
still
understand.
Vettel left a lot of space, lot of
Yeah,
room. He didn't suddenly turn into the corner.
yeah. And Schumacher comes on the radio and says that it was clearly my corner. I'm like, dude,
No,
you
what I think is
what a-
probably he thought it was Stroll.
also that should have been a penalty for me. That was not a
And
racing incident.
interesting decision that was. Again, FIA. FIA being
I
FIA, no investigation required, surprisingly, or not surprisingly.
Okay, I am decision no further action. I'm reading what they said. The stewards reviewed the video evidence and concluded that while sport drivers contributed to the collision, neither was fully or predominantly to blame.
Wow, nice. I have no comments on this. I don't want to comment anymore on FIA's things.
All right. Do you want to talk about the setup, the low downforce versus high downforce setup for the race?
Mostly, that's where Red Bull found the pace on this track.
Yeah.
That's probably the only difference between both the cars, I think, because Ferrari going for a high downforce and Red Bull going for a low downforce setup was the only differentiating factor. I mean, before the race, also Christian Horner was asked how the setup was going to be, and he told it clearly that Ferrari are going opposite to us, but we are also not sure which is best here. So let's see. Since it's the first race here, we are trying out things. If it works, we can have a data for next season.
See, from my limited understanding of playing the F1 game, I would have also gone for a low downforce setup
Hmm.
for this track, because it's only that turn 11 to 16 where you would kind of need a little higher downforce, but otherwise that track is pretty simple, pretty straight to drive, like,
Yeah.
right in the, and that's such a small sector. Like, if you have a low downforce setup, you are, anytime you lose in those 6 7 turns, you're going to make up for that time and more.
And
Have a
and that
lower
was
down.
clearly visible in the pit straight. I mean, how Max gained against Charles
Yeah,
in lap 7 or 8.
yeah.
Wow, I was like, where did that pace come from? I mean, he didn't have a DRS. I think no, he didn't have a DRS also, but he closed the gap so much in that from the last corner to the first corner.
Hmm. Yeah. Can we just
Also,
talk about the DRS? DRS did not seem that strong in this track, did it?
No, no,
huh,
no.
the only concern is we need to have the DRS start line
The
way
detection
back,
point needs to be moved.
not detection point. So after the tricky 16 corner,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we need to there is a long straight beside to the highway, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The DRS start line where you can enable DRS, that start line is somewhere middle, somewhere like not
In
middle.
the
I
middle
would say
of sector 3.
close to middle of that straight.
Sector 3.
It's
That's
not
where the
at the
problem is.
exit.
No, it's not at the exit. That's a pretty long straight, and they put it somewhere in the, like,
Yeah.
if that's 100 meter, they put it somewhere like a 60-meter mark. But I love the last couple of corners after the DRS straight. That last corners, they are pretty amazing, and they have a very far runoff area as well. I don't know. I love that section so much in this track.
The track in itself has potential, as we've already
Hmm.
discussed.
Hmm.
That that turn, I think, where the crashes happened, turn, I think it's turn 9 or turn 10. I'm not sure. It's right before that 11 to 16 thing starts.
Yeah.
So I think that needs to improve. Safety there needs to improve.
Yep.
Yeah, the DRS activation line also needs to be moved, because that the effect of that DRS was not visible throughout the race, and I think that also to a certain extent contributed to a pretty average race. Otherwise, it could have been much better.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and Albon, the red hair seems to be working.
Red hair is working. Red
Oh,
hair is
yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
wonders
Yeah.
since Australia.
He said that in Imola the tie faded and he finished 11th, and he dyed it back. And
He said it
Miami,
on the Beyond the Grid podcast, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Nice. But Alex Albon, 2 points, ninth position. Not bad.
Yep. Aston Martins, we talked about. Stroll, strong weekend.
Stroll, very good weekend. Yeah.
Vettel, unlucky.
Cut it for Vettel. Both Aston Martins could have finished in points, which would have been very crucial for them.
Bottas bottling up as usual. That last corner thing was totally unexpected. I mean, not unexpected, but he could have saved that actually.
Yeah, same thing happened with Perez also, right? When he was overtaking Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
End of the race. I think it was the exit of the first turn where he braked a little too hard, and Carlos was able to then get the place back.
That one was in the first corner, but Bottas lost to Russell and Hamilton
In the
I
last
think
corner.
after the DRS straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just before the start
Hmm.
straight. Yeah. Sunoda and Gasly. Gasly, for a change, was having a good weekend until that unfortunate incident with Alonso.
Yep. Alonso and Norris.
Yeah, I think this weekend Sunoda was kind of nowhere.
Yeah.
Gasly out qualified him, and
Yes.
it was looking good for Gasly. And then he just a shitty day for Alpha Tauri.
Alpha Tauris. Yep.
Yeah,
And talk about another driver who hasn't been in the radar or on the broadcast the whole race, Esteban Ocon.
yeah,
He's
Oh,
Ocon.
nowhere
yeah,
to be
yeah.
seen.
He finished
He's
eighth.
nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, he finished eighth, and like nobody cares about Ocon.
Nobody cared about Ocon this weekend in the race.
Yeah, it's sad.
Didn't he start at 18th?
Stroll, he did not come out for qualifying. No, did
Yeah,
not
he
come out.
started at 18. It
Hmm.
was
Started
like
at 18.
yeah,
Yeah,
Aston
I mean,
Martins were
Hmm.
like this.
yeah,
Another driver, Alonso, not Coleman.
yeah, man. McLaren.
Norris, pretty unlucky.
Pretty unlucky, but like he lost so many positions on the start. Like they were looking so strong up
I mean,
until qualifying.
I think they were the ones who were affected by the strategy.
Yeah,
And then,
they shouldn't have gone on the hards.
hmm,
I thought that Ricardo was going for a one stopper because he was just on those mediums for so long.
hmm,
And I really thought that he would make up places and finish somewhere good. But after that pit stop, I think he was stuck behind Kevin Magnussen for the longest time when he got
longest
on the
time.
hards. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's come to Mercedes now. Russell,
Mercedes,
fabulous drive.
Russell, driver of the weekend for me.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
for me, the driver of the day is Ocon.
Yeah, Ocon, Russell, pretty close. I would
But
say.
nowhere to be seen. That's what my point is. They didn't show us Ocon
Yeah,
anywhere.
because they were busy showing us fan reactions.
Massive recovery drive from Russell.
Yes.
P12 to P5. Wow.
Yes. And
And he got lucky also with the timing of the safety car.
sure, he got lucky, but I mean,
That's the risk you take and the reward you get.
the reward you get. And uh, all right, predictions then?
Yep. Let's
Oh,
go.
yes.
Predictions. Okay, Kramer, you predicted Max, Checo, Charles. Dude, every time you predict Max wins the race. Dude, stop doing that. What are you doing?
And I want points.
You want whatever. Who got the fastest lap was also Max,
Max.
right?
Max. Yes.
You get 2 plus 1 for that. Then you said only one Alpine in top 10. That is another 1 point. Both McLaren among points. Oh, this hurts me. And you said only one DNF, which is not true. So 4 out of 10 for you. Congratulations, Kramer. That's your highest score in predictions
Yeah,
till
I
now.
know.
Wow.
Congratulations. Honey Badger, you said Perez, Charles, and Russell. Just
Nothing
Zero.
happened. Except Charles.
No, Charles second.
Charles second. Oh yeah, right, second. Okay. So 2 points there. Fastest lap to Charles did not happen. General, you said one Alfa Romeo in top 10, which is true, which was put as at least 2 DNFs, which was true. Vettel beats Stroll. Man, it hurts. It hurts that I can't give you points for that.
What did you say? What did you say on the day? That's an easy point.
You know what? If Mick hadn't done what he did, Vettel might have beaten Stroll.
And what did I say? You never know.
Yeah. So you also get 4 out of 10. Enjoy.
Yep.
Shakuni said Charles, Max, Ham. Nothing happened. I'm so happy Shakuni does not get any points. Fastest lap to Max, he gets 1 point for that. He said both the Haas's in points. That did not happen. One McLaren in points. Nope. He said 2 to 3 DNFs, which is not true because we had 5 DNFs.
5 DNFs, yes.
Yes. So we can't give him points for that as well. So he gets 1 out of 10. I'm so happy. I predicted Charles, Russell, Hamilton. I was so sure Mercedes is going to do something and Red Bull is going to have so many reliability issues, but so nothing. I said fastest lap to Russell, which was wishful thinking. But I said problems for Honda cars, which is true. So 1 point there. Then I said at least 2 DNFs, which is also true. And I said Albon in points, which is also true. So I get 3 out of 10. Yeah, okay. So that is the end of this episode of rather boring Miami KP. Thank you everybody for listening to this episode of Over the Curb. Thank you everybody for joining and making this happen at 1 o'clock in night. If you like the episode, please share it with your friends and please click on the follow button on Spotify. If you have any feedback for us, if you want us to cover anything, or if you want to be part of the podcast, please write to us at overthecurvepodcast@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on our Instagram. We are at Over the Curve Podcast. And you can also reach out to us on Twitter at Over the Curve Pod. Until Spain.
Until Barcelona.
Okay. On that tiring note,
Bye bye.
Bye bye
bye
bye bye.
guys.
Bye guys.
Bye
Good
bye.
night. Good
Good
morning. Good
night.
afternoon. Whatever. Bye.
Bye.